Hello, students. Hope you all are fine and taking proper care of yourselves. Today, I'm going to start Economics Chapter 2, that is Sectors of Indian Economy. As you all have studied in your previous classes, so you are very much aware about these sectors. The sectors are primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. We are going to go through these sectors in details in this particular chapter. What is primary sector? So primary sector includes the economic activities related to obtain resources directly from nature. Like in the case of an activity like dairy, we are dependent on the biological process of the animals and availability of fodder, etc. The product here, milk, also is a natural product. Similarly, minerals and ores are also natural products as they are extracted from the nature. Most of the natural products we get are from agriculture. That is why this sector is also known as agriculture and related sector. Primary sector provides raw material to secondary sector for the further production. So secondary sector is dependent on primary sector for raw materials. Now, secondary sector. Secondary sector covers activities in which natural products are changed into other forms through ways of manufacturing that we associate with industrial activity. For example, sugarcane is a raw material, and afterwards we make sugar or good from sugarcane, and it takes place in the industry. Since the sector became associated with the different kinds of industries, it is also called as industrial sector. Then comes tertiary sector. Now, this sector does not produce any goods but provides services. Services like transport, banking, insurance, etc. For example, for transportation of goods from one place to another, we need transport facility. For storing the bulk of goods which are produced, we need warehousing facility. So all these services come under tertiary sector. The professional services also come under this sector, like teachers, doctors, and those who provide personal services such as washermen, cobblers, etc. All the three sectors are interdependent on each other. For example, for producing goods, secondary sector requires raw materials which will be available from primary sector. For transporting the produced goods, services like transport will be required, which will be available through tertiary sector. So if primary and secondary sector grow, tertiary sector will grow automatically. All three are dependent on each other. Now, comparison of the sectors of the economy. How do we count the various goods and services and know the total production in each sector? Now, it's not possible to take into consideration all the goods and services, so the value of goods and services should be used rather than adding up the actual numbers. For example, 5,000 coconuts sold at the rate of rupees 10 per coconut, so the value will be rupees 50,000. Similarly, the value of goods and services in the three sectors are calculated and then added up. Now, every good or service that is produced may not be counted. Only final goods and services are taken into consideration. For example, A farmer sells tomato to a industry for rupees 10 per kg. And the industry uses those tomato and converts it into tomato ketchup and sells that particular one pouch of ketchup to the retail shop at rupees 20 per pouch. Now further, the retail shopkeeper will sell that particular pouch at rupees 25 to the consumer. So the final good is that ketchup that we got at rupees 25 per packet, and that will be taken into consideration. Now, why only final goods and services are counted, and why not the other goods that were used in the production of ketchup, that is tomato? Because they are intermediate goods, and the value of intermediate goods is already included in the value of the final goods. If we include the price of tomato, that is rupees 10 per kg separately, and the price which the company charged at the rupees 20, and finally the price which the shopkeeper charged, that is rupees 25, so it will not be correct. We'll only take into consideration the final goods price, that is rupees 25. Now what is GDP? That is gross domestic product. Gross here means the total value including the tax. Domestic means the production which took place within the territory of India. So it is gross domestic product. The value of final goods and services produced in each sector during a particular year provides the total production of the sector for that year, and the sum of production in three sectors gives GDP of the country. In India, the task of measuring GDP is undertaken by a central government ministry. The ministry, with the help of various government departments, collects information related to total volume of goods and services and their prices, and then estimates the GDP. We'll move forward towards the historical change in sectors. At the initial stage of development, primary sector was the most important sector of economic activity. As the method of farming changed and agriculture sector began to prosper, it produced much more food than before. With the help of new techniques and new innovations, production increased in a bulk. Production also increased, and primary sector was also providing more employment than the other sector. Production increased and most people were employed in this particular sector. Then, over a long time, because of new methods of manufacturing were introduced, factories came up and started expanding their work, and because of that, secondary sector took the position of primary sector and became the most important sector. Then over the last 100 years, there has been a further shift from secondary to tertiary sector. The service sector has become the most important in terms of total production. Most of the working people are also employed in the service sector. If we look at the past years, up till 2010-11, primary sector was the largest producing sector in India. But after 2010-11, tertiary sector has emerged as the largest producing sector. Now, it is not so that primary and secondary sector has not increased the production. Production has increased in primary also and secondary also, but not more than tertiary sector. That is why tertiary sector is the largest producing sector. Now, what is the reason of rising importance of the tertiary sector in production? First of all, in every country, many services such as hospital, transport, banks, etc. are required, which are basic services. And it is a responsibility of government to provide these basic services which are necessary. So that is why it gave growth to tertiary sector. Secondly, the development of agriculture and industry also led to the development of services such as transport, trade, etc. Greater development of the primary and secondary sector, more would be the demand of such services. If primary and secondary sector will grow, automatically tertiary sector will also grow. Thirdly, the income level of people rises and people start demanding many more services like eating out, tourism, etc. Especially in big cities. Like we can take the example, before the women used to do the household work on their own, but now they are made for these works. So the demand for service sector is increasing more and more. Over the past decade, certain new services, those are based on information and communication technology, have also become important and essential. Everyone uses this in day-to-day life. Even farmers also use these services for online transactions and all. Where are most of the people employed? A remarkable fact about India is that while there has been a change in the share of these three sectors in GDP, but the similar shift has not taken place in employment. Previously, also primary sector was the largest employer, and now also primary sector is the largest employer. If we go to the figures in the past, that is in 1970 and 71, the share of primary sector in GDP was 45%, secondary sector share was 20%, and tertiary sector share was 40%. In 2010-11, the share of primary sector in GDP has reduced to 15%. Secondary sector share has increased to 2%, that is, it has become 22%, and share of tertiary sector is 58%. This shows that though the share of the sectors in GDP has been changing, like the primary sector share has reduced, but employment has increased. Though the share of tertiary sector in GDP has increased, but employment has not increased in that particular sector. More than half of the workers in the country are working in primary sector and mainly in agriculture and producing only a quarter of the GDP. If you look at the share of primary sector in employment in 1970-71, 75% of the population was employed in primary sector, 10% was involved in secondary sector, and 15% was involved in tertiary sector. The share has changed in 2009 and 10. In primary sector, the share decreased to 55%, and the share of secondary sector employment has been 20% in 2009 and 10, and that of tertiary sector has been 25%. This shows that though the percentage of primary sector in GDP has decreased, but then also employment is more in primary sector than tertiary sector. Why is it so? Because the workers working in primary sector are underemployed.